Hello and welcome to my channel. If you're watching us for the first time, please subscribe so that you get these kind of videos whenever we post them. So today we're going to talk about the customer avatar, the buyer persona, the ideal client. After talking to about over 152 coaches and consultants in the last 2 years, one-on-one for more than 1 hour, one thing I've realized is that most of the coaches and consultants do not really understand their clients. They don't understand whom they are serving. So this is very important, and I felt like I should create this video to make you understand this very important aspect. This is a must-watch video before you come up with your next product. So before you come up with the next product, make sure you watch this video and even contact us if you have more questions. You can comment on this video and ask questions. We'll always follow up with the comments. So how do you know your ideal customer or buyer persona or ideal customer avatar? I will be sharing my notes. So let me share my screen so that you can be able to share the notes that I have here. And so I will not take long. This will take around 20 minutes or so. So how do you know your customer avatar? Just like I've said, I've talked to so many coaches and consultants who don't understand this, and you need to watch this very seriously and learn something out of it. In this video, you will discover 5 questions that you need to answer about your customer or ideal client and even your dream client. So these questions are very important, and they are going to help you in creating your marketing message, in terms of creating your content, and many other things that you want, even your product itself. Before you come up with a product, you at least need to know the clients that you're serving very deeply so that you connect with them at an emotional level. So I've been working with coaches and consultants the last 2 years, and one of the things that we help them to come up with is their customer avatar. And I realized that they are not many of these coaches, almost all of them that I interviewed in the last 2 years, around 150 of them, do not really understand who their customer avatar is. So they just know a general definition about their customers. That's a huge mistake. So pay attention to this video, and at the end of it, we shall know some basic questions that you need to understand about your customers. For those who are watching me for the first time or coming into contact with me for the first time, my name is Kisho, and I help coaches and consultants to build online selling systems so that they can have continuous flow of clients even as they sleep without having to worry about tech, because we take care of it. So let's continue. How do you know your ideal client? So you need these things, you need to know these 4 things about your ideal client: who your ideal customer is, and their key purchase drivers are, what their challenges and wants are, and how your products or service will transform their lives from their current situation for the better. Yeah, we'll elaborate further on this as we continue to go. And just note that you may have different types of customer avatars in your business. If, let's say, you're a life coach, or maybe you are a teenagers coach. So the first clients that you're serving are the teenagers themselves. But again, the teenagers may not come to your program themselves. They may be connected with the parents. They may be connected with the teachers. They may be connected with their churches. So in this case, as you try to define your customer avatar, all these guys are customers, because if the parent does not refer their child to you, you may not get them. If they don't pay, you may not get a paying customer. So you need to target these people. And at the same time, as you come up with your product, you will also need to customize your product to fit the needs of the teenagers themselves. So you need to know deeply about the teenagers themselves, and the parents, and maybe the schools, those who you're contacting in the school. In a business scenario, you may need to know the customer avatar. If maybe it's a marketing manager, maybe it's the director, maybe it's the personnel manager or something like that. So you really need to understand the one that is very important for your business. So it's right, you may have more than one customer avatar, and you need to make these customers avatars separately and independently. There could be some things that your customer avatars could be sharing, but should make an analysis and take notes about each of these segments of your customers, whether there are 2 or 3. If it's 1, that's okay. You'll only need to cater for that one. So how will knowing your customer avatar or your buyer persona help you in your business, in your coaching and consulting business, or any other business for that matter? One, let's say, for example, you're doing content marketing. If you really understand your customer avatar, it means that you will get to create the right content, be it blog posts, be it videos, be it podcasts, be it the lead magnets that you're using to attract your customer avatar to your business, and any other form of content that you might be producing, like live videos like this, for example. So whatever else you want to contribute in your content, if you really understand your customer, then it means you will be creating relevant products, relevant services. So in content marketing, it's very relevant. In paid traffic, where does your customer reside? Which advertising platforms would be able to reach them appropriately? So if you know where you can target them, for example, are they on Twitter? Are they on Facebook? Are they on LinkedIn? Or are they on whichever other platform? Are they on TikTok? Which platform do your customers visit most often? So when you do an analysis of that and understand your client, you'll know you will not waste your advertising money. Whatever you're giving to them will be specifically targeted for them. You see how important knowing your customer is? When it comes to product creation, that's why I said at the beginning of this video that before you come up with a product, it's important that you know your customer. You may create a very good product. If you create a good product, but you target the wrong people, you will not make sales, and your product, you shall have created it for nothing. I remember when I was beginning, I created a program on Facebook marketing. Of course, after successfully running ads for years down the line, I knew that whatever I was teaching in my program was working. But again, I didn't study my customer. I knew what kind of messaging can I target them. I made my course, created all the videos, then they just sat there and nobody was watching them. So I did not consult my customers first, so that I could know how to target them, so that I could know the messaging that I would use so that I can have them to enroll in my course. So I made the course and nobody was enrolling. So I had to go and study my customers again. That's when I started getting clients for my Facebook ads course. So when it comes to copywriting as well, that is important. The words that you're going to use to communicate to your ideal customer, if you understand them, then this will be gold. So create a good customer avatar. If you have a copywriter, then give your copywriter all those details, and they will give you exactly what you want. So it's very important to understand this. When it comes to email marketing, most of the times when you come up with products and services online, you may have some 3% of people purchasing your product, but not all of them will buy. You'll find like 3% purchase rightly during the time that you're promoting your product, but like over 90% of them will not buy. So probably you may need to come up with email sequences that will communicate to your ideal client so that it may convince them, it may convert them to take them through the various levels of the customer journey so that they'll be able to buy. And email communication is very important for this. So before you do that, you really need to know your customer before you even write the emails, so that you write emails which will be communicating to your ideal client. So that's very important. So that, not only that, but if you come as well to any aspect of your business, if you understand well your customer, then it means you'll be giving out the right product, the right communication, the right messaging. You really need to improve the contents of whatever you're offering so that you be able to reach them at their needs. But now you could be asking yourself, how do I really get to know my ideal customer? If you are currently in business, this could be easier. There could be that client that you admire working with, you've really enjoyed working with, and you'd like to get more of that kind of client. So if you're already in business and have clients, then you need to find more of the clients that you work with. You need to get to know this client that I really love to work with. What are some of the qualities that he or she has that I should look for in other kind of similar customers? But if you're just starting, you may need to have to do a lot of research. Let's say, for example, you're a coach like myself or a consultant, then you're looking for other coaches and consultants. You know the solutions that you want to give because you understand it from your own perspective. For ourselves, when we were beginning to look for our real customer avatar, which we have, we had to interview over 100. After interviewing over 100 coaches and consultants, we really came to understand our clients, and we know this is what they need. They need, for example, to get a consistent flow of clients. They needed to have funnels that will run 24/7, that will less intervention. They needed to increase their income. They needed to make their presence felt online. And we knew the average age of the most clients that we really wanted to deal with. So we came up with this after talking to these customers themselves. So you get to learn it from the horse's mouth. So you don't need to guess on this. Sometimes what you assume may not work for you. You need to really interact with your clients to be able to understand them. So here are the 5 questions that you need to ask yourself about your ideal client. Number 1 question, what are the demographics and the traits of your customer? If you know the age, if you know the gender, if you know the marital status, if you know the number or age of children, the location, occupation or job title, annual income, level of education, a quote that sums up their feelings related to the problem that you're trying to solve for them, the brands that they're following, the influences that they engage with, where they get the information like books, blogs, forums, conferences. I believe if you've been running ads for some time, or if you run ads for your business, then you understand how important is this. If you know how to target, if you know that the demographics of your ideal client, it will be very easy to target them in, let's say, Facebook ad platform, for example. These ones you can really use. So number 2 questions, what are their frustrations and fears? What keeps your customers at night, them awake at night to think about? Let's say, for example, you are a relationship coach and somebody has struggled for long and does not get a date or a marriage partner. And they really ask themselves, how can they get their partners? What is really disturbing your ideal client? What annoys or frustrates them? What challenges do they face on a daily basis, big or small? Who or what is standing in the way of their success and happiness? What are some key systems in their life or job that frequently fail? What's something they're forced to interact with that's difficult to manage or understand? Let's say, for example, technology. I know there are some coaches and consultants, they are certified coaches and they understand their field very well. But when it comes to maybe interacting in these platforms, the technology of building funnels, the technology of their websites, the technology involved in coming up with videos, they don't understand. So they have struggled with this. They struggle with this technology. And if you know that they struggle with this, not all of them, of course, there are other coaches and consultants who are knowledgeable in how to handle technology, but there are others, the majority who don't, or maybe they're so busy, they want to let this be done by people like us. So that's an example of something that they find difficulty in. So what feature or lack of features do they regularly complain about in related products or services that you're offering to them? So that's our second question. Number 1 question is, what are the demographics? The age, gender, education. And number 2, what are their frustrations, the fears? What are they running away from? The things that frustrate or scare them? What are the things they want to escape from? So what keeps them awake at night? What challenges do they face on a daily basis? Who or what is standing in their way? What are the key systems in their life or job that frequently fail? What is something they are forced to interact with that's difficult for them? What feature or lack of features do they regularly complain about in related products? Sometimes you may ask yourself, how do I know all this? You could do things like, for example, going to the blogs that they visit and look at customer testimonials about the products that they buy, what they're complaining about, the features of a product that they buy, that they're complaining about. And if you look at that like that, then you'll find your ideal client is complaining about this. And when you come up with your product or service, then you offer a solution to that problem that they're complaining about. The third question that you need to ask yourself about your customer avatar is, what are their wants and aspirations? You need to name several things your customer avatar wants that they don't have yet. What do they want for themselves? What do they really want for themselves? Don't guess that. You need to understand it from them. And when you're doing one-on-one consultations, you need to ask these questions. What do they want for the people around them? Their family, their friends, their coworkers, their employees, their children, you know, what do they aspire to be? And if you can make somebody whatever they are aspiring to be, like they're aspiring to be an influencer, they're aspiring to be a renowned speaker, if you can take them from their what they aspire to be and lead them there with your product or service, this is very important when you are creating your product or service. What goals are they set for themselves? As a coach or a consultant, what goal have you set for yourself? What values do they hold dear? What are their secret desires? And take note, as you ask these questions, take note that these things should have relevance to your product or offer. Don't get distracted by things that are not relevant to your product or offer. So as you look into these painful situations, their aspirations, what they want, their main target, what values they hold, their secret desires, you need to match this with the product or service that you offer. And if you already have a product or offer and you realize that the aspirations of your clients is not captured in your product or services, then you need to upgrade it to match this right now if you don't have that. So what are their key purchase drivers? In other words, why would they buy? What things are most important to them that will influence the buying decision? The must-have features, the expectations of the service, the quality of the expectations. Are there any known deal killers? Something that if you get to know about your product or service, they will no longer want to deal with you. You might look at, and sometimes it calls for, sometimes it's good to look at negative reviews. When you look at maybe your competitors, you can get this from your competitors. If you're a coach or a consultant, you can look at the reviews of your fellow coaches and consultants. Look at those negative reviews and understand what your client really doesn't want. When they give a one-star review, what's their reasoning? What's their reasoning behind their one-star review? And when you come up with your product solving the same problem, you make sure that that is handled. You need to ask yourself any additional stakeholders or decision makers that need that should affect the decision. Sometimes, especially when you're in the B2B section, you're maybe a business coach, and you want to get to the director of the company. Then there are so many people you have to go through, and there may be a director and they have another co-director that must influence the decision, without whom they cannot move forward. So you need to establish this at the beginning of the interaction with your potential client and know that my customers, my ideal clients, my buyer persona is being influenced by these other stakeholders. They are not the independent sole decision makers. And when you know that, you really know how to go about this when you handle them. If they have any decision makers who must be involved in the decision-making process, in the buying process, then you need to contact them. At this point, it's worth noting that about some common objections or reasons why they might not want. What are the common objections that your customers have? Yeah, there's some objections that your customers have. I need to consult my partner. The price is too high for me. I'm not ready now. I'm not really clear on this. I need to contact my partners. I believe for a coach or a consultant, these are very common objections. I need to consult my wife, before I make this decision. In our advanced programs, we teach you how to handle these objections. And even as you market yourself, you have one-on-one situations, you really need to know how to handle such objections. So when you know the objections that your potential client have in advance, then you can even be able to proactively address those concerns, those objections. Number 5, what are their states before and after interacting with your product or service? So this is the final step of completing your customer avatar. You need to know how are your clients before interacting with you and your product or service, and how are they after interacting with your product or service? So remember, people do not just buy products or services. People buy transformations. I may repeat that and need to take that note. People do not buy products or services. People buy transformations. You may be having a very good product and you believe this is the best product that I have. And you believe that when I come up with this product, everything will be fine. And I know everybody will like it. But your ideal client is asking themselves, what transformation will I get after this product or service? If you can be very clear in that whatever you're addressing, if you can be very clear with your transformation that you're giving, then you'll find it very easy to sell your product or service. People enroll, for example, in a gym to transform their bodies. People buy clothes to transform their appearance. Yeah. People buy coaching certifications, for example, to transform their careers or business. You see how it works? So these are the 10 questions about before and after that you need to ask yourself. What does your prospect have now before interacting with your product? And what do they have after interacting with your product? How do they feel? How do they feel before your product? And how do they feel after your product or service? What does their average day look like now? And what will the average day look like after your product? Let's say, for example, the average day of most of the coaches and consultants that we deal with, they are busy every day trying to look, most of them are busy every day trying to look for clients. What about if you can automate this for them so that it doesn't have to be, they spend their whole day looking for clients and prospecting? What about if you can automate that process, like what we do, so that at the end of it, they just, at the end of a product, they only need to serve the clients that they're continuously getting with the funnels and the ads that we have created for them. Yeah. So you need to change their average day to a desirable one from the current one. And what's their status now? What's their status before life? What's their status after your product? What's the evil that's eating them, your prospect up? And what good will your product bring to address this evil? We go deep into this in our customer avatar course and one-on-one sessions that we have with our clients. And if you want us to go deep into this, you can comment on this program and we'll help you come up with your customer avatar, and you'll truly understand your ideal client, and it will transform your product. It will increase your sales. It will make your ads to convert more because now you really understand whom you're serving. So those are the 5 questions that you need to know about your customer. Number 1, the demographics. Number 2, what are their frustrations? Number 2, what are the wants and aspirations? Those are different. Wants and aspirations, and frustrations and fears. And number 4, what are their key purchase drivers? What makes them to purchase? And number 5, what is their current state? And how can you transform that? So I know this is just scratching the surface. If you really want to delve deep into this, comment on this video and we'll tell you how you can reach us, how you can access to the tools that we have that we use to do this. At the end of it all, we have a one-page worksheet that you can fill, that you can help you fill in a session, a one-on-one session. Of course, that's a paid session, and you really understand your client, and it will change your business. It will change the way you create your product. You will even change your current product to a better product that serves your ideal client. Thank you for this video. I think we have to end it here. If you have any question, please feel free to ask your question. My name is Arkisho, and I help coaches to build online sales funnels. I'm a digital marketer and a consultant and coach in digital marketing. We build funnels, and we help you also to market your products and services. Thank you very much, and have a nice time.